Hello, hello. Oh, hello, hello. I didn't realize I was live. Um, all right. Welcome to Tech Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about Google Sheets and Google Docs and these two ways and how you can use them in your business for creating and helping you with maybe courses, or if you run virtual summits, some of my very favorite things, even organizing your workshop. So I'm just going to show you a couple ways that we can use it. And then at some other point, maybe we'll do a Tech Tuesday and really dive into each one of these areas of Google. So Google's really great because it's free, so easy to use. I'm going to pull up so I can see any comments. Good morning, Leanne, Perlette, Monica. Hello, hello. So it's great. It's a free platform to use. There's some creative ways that you can use it when you're presenting and engaging with audiences virtually, but I'm not going to talk about that today fully. So here we go. Let me share out my screen with you. I won't be able to see comments because I'm going to be, of course, sharing in my screen. So give me a second. All right. First one I'm going to start with is Google Docs. All right. So Google Docs is equivalent to Microsoft Word. In my opinion, I'm always giving my opinion on these things. That's the whole point of it, right? Here on Tech Tuesday. But my opinion is that it's a little bit easier to use for people who maybe are not as familiar with Microsoft Word, but people like me who grew up on Microsoft Word, there's so much more you can do with it. It's much more powerful. And they have some of similar features to Google Docs in the way what I'm going to show you, but it just seems like many people out there, I won't say most or all, have Google. And if you don't, you get an account for free. So it's just something that's easier to use. But anyway, when you go into your Google Docs, I have some docs already created. There is a template gallery. So much like Microsoft Word, you can pick out a template to start working with that. What's really great is I'll open the gallery up. They have brochures, they have newsletters, sales quotes, privacy policies. Oh, I didn't even know. That's probably new that they have those in there, right? But great things for you to be able to get going and then customize for your own benefit. If you don't have a business letterhead, make one in here. You can save it as a template, and then you can use that whenever you have to send out correspondence. It's a really great way to be able to do it. And you can also work from a blank slate, which is what we're going to do today. When we switch over into Google Sheets, I'm going to share out a link. So for those of you watching, if you want to join in and play in this platform with me, we'll do it when we get over in Sheets. I don't want to send too many links and then everybody get confused. So here it is. The great part is Google Docs saves all the time. So if I type anything in here, we're just going to start. Hello, good afternoon. And you can see right up here, it says saved, and it saves it to the drive. You get a drive with Google automatically for free. I think now they give 15 gigabytes for free to everyone. And if you're just doing things like documents or spreadsheets, that is a lot of storage. If you're starting to store like photos and videos, it's not very much storage. Okay. And then up here, you can name it. It will always pick the name of your first line as the title if you don't give it one, but we are going to give it one. So this is a test for Tech Tuesday. And then again, you can see it looks very much like Microsoft Office or Microsoft Word. So why I'm saying that this is a great platform to use for if you're creating online courses is because if you script out what you're going to say in your course, or even if you decide to do bullet points, right? Because it just depends on how your brain thinks as to which one you want to do. You can write this in Google Docs and then you can share it with anyone that you want. So for those of you that are working with me as one-on-one clients, you'll know sometimes I'm like, hey, throw it in a Google Doc. I try to encourage my clients to do this because then I can see the edits as you make them. If not, what happens, and I'll say what happens in the good old days, right, is you have a document you work on and then you send it to someone and then they work on it and then they send it back to you. And now you have your original and the new one. And then you do edits and send it back and get another. And now you have 3 copies. And if you're not really good about deleting and keeping up, it can become confusing. So this is great because all edits and changes are made in this document. And then we can set it up where we see all the edits that happen over here. So you can actually go in and look back and see what has been changed or who's edited what, but you can also share things, okay? You can add images in here, and it's set very much like Microsoft Word or any kind of typing document. But the benefit of using it here is that two things. One is you get to keep it in your Google Drive without having to do anything special. And two is that you can share it if you're working with someone or somebody's going to be editing or somebody's going to be looking at it. So that's why I suggest using it. All right, I'm going to flip back into here. I'm going to open up a blank one first. I'm going to do a couple things. So give me just a moment because I want to drop this link in case anybody wants to come and play. So we can see test for Tech Tuesday. This is one we can have the same title because it's a sheet, not a document. Let's see. We're going to make it so anybody can edit this. Give me just a second, and I will show you how to do what I'm doing. Hold on. You're like, what is she doing? Give me just a second. I'll tell you. Anyone with this in this group, I have to change that. Anyone with link. I hate when they give me all these little pop-up bars. Okay, I'll show you what I did in just a second, but I want to get this over here. You guys are going to see all the back end. So I'm going to drop it in as a comment up here. If anybody wants to click on that document, you can come in and join me, and then I'll explain what I just did in a moment. So don't worry, but you can come in and start playing around in the document. You can put things in the boxes in different places. So feel free to come in. You'll end up coming into this document. So Google Sheets has templates as well. I'll show you those at the end, but we're going to open up a blank one. So it looks very similar to Microsoft Excel. If you're familiar with that program. Oh, somebody's in, so hello. Yeah, and you could just type in any box, whoever you are, and play around, add some color in here, because the whole point is just being able to see what you can do. So I use Google Sheets when I'm helping plan out courses to be able to keep things organized. And I also use them when I do virtual summits. So how I like to use them, and you're going to notice that who's ever in here, hey there, who's ever that is, they can work at the same time I'm working, right? So they're typing, and I'm going to go into sheet 2 down here at the bottom. I'm going to change the name. And let's see, we're going to call this schedule. So maybe I'm going to make this as your schedule. So you can use this to be able to organize your work in a way, and then also be able to share it out with people that you're working with. So maybe your schedule is like 1 to 2, we're having lunch, and 2 to 3, we need a speaker A, and 3 to 4, we need speaker B. I have that wrong. So again, I'm playing around in this and editing it. At the same time, I can see that someone is in here. They're anonymous right now because we're probably not connected on this drive. And you can see, oh, it's Leanne. So see, Leanne's playing around on this page, and she could come here, and while she's typing on here, I can type at the same time. She's in this box right now where it says Anonymous Tiger. That's you, Leanne, Anonymous Tiger today. So it's really great because you can collaborate with other individuals at the same time in real time. And then you're not like, did you get those notes? Did I get those notes? Right? You can take notes in these and be able to save out different things. So when I'm running a summit, I actually have a lot of different tabs. I have one for the schedule. I have one for my presenters, the things I need to do for them, for the social media. And so I have all these little different tabs in the bottom. If anybody wants to learn how to run a virtual summit, like, let me know, because that's one of the services I provide, is helping you launch your own virtual summit. This fall, we're going to have a really great program that's going to help you. So in the spring, you could launch a program, and it's going to walk you through step by step. We're going to do the whole entire thing. It's going to be so much fun. So look for that to come. But this is basically the power of Google Sheets and Google Drive. It's free to use, a way to organize your work, and a way to share with others, so that you can not have 500 copies of things. So I'm going to pop back into Facebook and see if anybody has any questions. Again, this is just a high level overview of ways that you can use these things in your business. For those of you who do coaching, I'm going to come out of here just so I'm going to stop sharing so I can go back and see if there's any questions. For those of you who maybe work one-on-one with someone, you have a client that you work with, you could keep track of your stuff in Excel and have a tab for each one of your clients. I wouldn't share that out to them if you have multiple clients in there, but a way for you to keep track of your work. If you are working one-on-one with someone and you might have a document that you share with them, maybe it'd be an Excel sheet, maybe it'd be one, you'd have a tab for each session that you have, and you could list out, maybe you write your notes. I don't know if you share your notes from a session, and then you could put like what their, I'll say activity or homework or what their focus is. You know, if you have other things, you can drop it in there, and then you could have a tab. So almost think like you're giving them a workbook, right, for each week so that they can look back, right? Maybe they take notes in it as well of like how their week went. And so before your session, you pop back in there and you can see, you know, what they have said before you even meet, right? And so it's a way to be able to keep that open dialogue and communication. And again, most people have a Google Drive. And if you don't, you're like, Erica, I'm one of those people who don't, you can get one for free. It's super easy to sign up. So that's a really powerful way to be able to use it just with your clients as well. All right. So, oh, Perlette, you're asking for the Kajabi training. I do have a replay, and I will also when people want them, sometimes I run them. So I can give you the replay, or I can, we can just schedule a time and we'll do it together. So that way I can meet your needs and we can invite a few other people in. I know Nikki's in this group and she's been looking for that training as well. And one other person's been looking for it. I can't think of who it is at the moment. So Monica, cool idea to include with your workbook. Yes. So you could make a template for your clients, and then in your course, you could give them a template. So maybe your perfect example. So I do course creation, right? With clients, I work one-on-one. I have a template that I've made for them. So when I work with them, they get a Google Sheet template, right, Monica? And so they can keep track of their work. I can see what they're doing. We can take notes in it together. They can check off where they're at and things. And we have lots of columns. I keep adding more columns in as we work together. And so that's one also way. If you're doing a course where you don't have any touch points with them, you could still be like, here's a template I've created for you, right? I have one client I'm working with, and some of their stuff is on real estate, and it's like they need their clients to have like 6 different things. This would be a great way. I already have this template made for you and I'm sharing you, and you could share the link, right? And then they get the link and they can make a copy. So there's other ways, and I can show you how to do that so that they don't edit your original. I did tell you I was going to show you one more thing on Google Sheets, so I'm going to go back and do that. Leanne says new ideas for me. Yes, there's like a million ways you can use it. So I can tell Leanne is still in here, or someone, but I think it's her, because if a new person would come in, they would name it some other funny animal. It'd be like an anonymous elephant or something. But when you, what's I going to show you in here? Oh, I'm going to go back. Hold on. And I just type in Google Sheets, and Google's amazing, and it just brings stuff up that I need. So I was going to show you their templates, and I was also going to show you how to share things. So let me do those 2 things. So here's the templates for the Google Sheets. So you can see they have timesheets. They have, if you send out invoices to your clients, you can do it. You can create an invoice, save it as a template, and then you just pop in the information you need each time. They have the big Gantt charts, project timelines, which are really great. And actually I might use that timeline because I'm creating something right now. So a lot of times I'll come in and pull from a template, and then I'll totally change it and make it my own and move things and move columns. And you can do that with any of these. Great to-do lists in here, scheduling, so planners. And I think there's other places that you can get Google stuff, but these are the ones they kind of support in their system. All right, I do want to show you, I'll show you, see this little, see this little person? That means it's a shared document with someone else. And you can see that I own it. because whoever creates it is technically the owner. You can change owners in it. And then you can see when it was last opened. So there's a little bit of information there for you as well. So I'm going to open it up. When you go to your share settings, so if you have a regular Gmail account, so if your email address ends in Gmail, it's really easy. You just add the people who you want to share and you're done. But my business, this email, you can see it's erica@ericaclark.com. When I use this, I end up, it still goes through Google, even though it doesn't look like a Gmail account, it is. So there's like a few other, I hate these little boxes that come up. There's a few other things you have to do. So you can add people, you can share with groups as well. But right here, if I just want to be able to share the link, you do have to look at the settings here, because I can do it with anyone with the link or people that work under me in my Erica Clark company. Okay, so if you're using like Google Teams or something like that, this would be that. So every once in a while I'll share something and forget to change this, and they'll be like, Erica, I can't access it. And I realize that I have to come back in here and make sure it's anyone with the link. The other thing that you can do is change here. So they can be a viewer, a commenter, or an editor. So editor, they can edit all of it. Comment, they can just make little comments in it. So kind of like the old days, or your teacher doing that red pen, something like that. Or there's also viewer. So where the individual can't modify anything, but they could look at it and they can also make a copy of it. All right. So that's the differences in those. So I just wanted to show you that. And then here you can type in anyone's email address in this space to be able to share it with them. You just have to change this down here again. This is only if you have a company. If you don't, it'll look a little different and it's just easier. You just share it. And then you tell if you want it to be an editor, viewer, or commenter. All right, so I'm gonna stop screen sharing. I ran over a little bit today, but I wanted to give you this information. Monica, great. Glad you have additional things. Josh, you're just saying Josh. I love it. And Pearlette, you could do the next Kajabi group. I'll run an evening one. Let's put together one, because I think there's a couple other people that are taking classes and working during the day. So I'll be in touch with you and we'll figure out a time that works, and then we'll just invite other people who want to join us as well. All right. With that, I hope you all have a fantastic day. The Epic Elite Club is open. We're rocking and rolling. There's some good stuff happening in there. And we do even more than Tech Tuesdays, because we have those here, but we do more in-depth training. It just opened up. I would love to have you all in as founders. So come in. It's an opening rate of $47 and I lock you in forever. So as this group grows, the price is going to go up because I get more and more content in it. So you want to come. And I will tell you that the last 3-day challenge that we did, if you missed it, all the recordings and stuff are in there. So you could come and join us, and there's going to be some amazing stuff happening. So if you want information, you can head to the website or drop a link, ask for information. Just let me know. I hope you have a great day.